Back again with another movie review. And movie review slash special presentation. We'll just call it movie review. My name is Josh. Thanks for checking out the channel. And just so you know, I am a little under the weather and on some cold medicine, so I don't normally look like this or sound necessarily as nasally. Maybe I do. I don't know. Either way, I don't feel excessively great, but I also feel good enough to actually be able to catch up on some good watching, and then also means some reviewing. I've been meaning to get to Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which is what we're going to talk about today briefly. I'm going to try and keep it pretty brief. But I've all of a sudden gotten a little bit of time to catch up on some of the watching, and I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, and I have to say, it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. I am a person that definitely has had some mostly not super positive things to say about a lot of the Marvel stuff recently. Recently as in like Phase 4, so kind of most of the stuff since Endgame, Avengers Endgame. Guardians of the Galaxy and like Thor and things like those have been my favorites for pretty much the entirety of all of Marvel. And I just recently seen the trailer for Guardians 3, and it reminded me that I really needed to go back and watch the holiday special because it kind of snuck in there and came out around Thanksgiving, and I just wasn't on the top of my list of things to do, and I just kind of forgot about it. I'm so glad I went and watched it though, because it just reminded me to get excited about Guardians of the Galaxy and what James Gunn has done with those characters and what he continues to do with them. It's such a weird little, I think it's like an hour, kind of like Werewolf by Night, which I think those are the only two Marvel special presentations so far, and 2 for 2. They are 2 for 2, because those two have probably been my favorite things of Marvel within the last year or two, for sure. And this, again, followed right in line with Marvel or Werewolf by Night. Not in any of the actual story points or anything like that, but just in the uniqueness and ability to tell a really good, kind of emotional story really quickly. I think this is kind of like a little love letter to the fans from James Gunn to all of his Guardians fans, because it gave us kind of a lot of what, at least in my interpretation of what I would have liked to have seen more in some of the other movies that I haven't been able to, not because they didn't want to, but just because it didn't fit. And that's more of things like Gamora and Drax just kind of on a little side mission to go do something kind of with the intent to be nice. Drax is a little more murky on the intent there, but you know, doing something like that, and then their interactions, and then just kind of seeing how humans on Earth respond to, you know, aliens or maybe not aliens, you know, how it would be dropped in like the real world now. And they were at it's not Mann's Chinese Theater anymore, but whatever the little Hollywood spot is where they have the Walk of Fame and everything like that, you know, where they drop in there. And no spoilers, if you've seen the trailers, then you definitely know that they're out to get Kevin Bacon to make Peter Quill's Christmas much more enjoyable. And they're out there looking for him, and it's just awesome to see the interactions between humans and the aliens, which are Drax and Mantis. And it's just, it's hilarious. They end up doing a bunch of drinking with a bunch of folks. Then they stumble onto Kevin Bacon. So just to briefly synopsize this, again, the whole point of this is it's around the Christmas time. I believe the Guardians are rebuilding Nowhere, where the Collector was, you know, previous to everything that happened. But that was in the Guardians movie, so they're back there kind of doing some good. Look like they're righting some wrongs with the people of Nobody or whoever lives there. And it just comes up that it is Christmas time.
I just saw on the calendar that right now on Earth it's almost Christmas time.
Kraglin tells the story, which is done in animation style, of Peter's kind of early Christmases with the Ravengers and with Yondu, and it doesn't really end very well. So Drax and Mantis, mostly Mantis, has the idea to make Peter feel better. We're going to go and kidnap Kevin Bacon. That part was more Drax's idea, naturally, but Mantis goes right along with it, and we kind of discover there's something important that Mantis needs to tell Quill that kind of is a little beaten around the bush and then gets to at the end, but I'm not going to spoil that here just in case you haven't seen it. But that's probably about the only important thing that comes out of this for the MCU moving forward, which is another thing that I really loved about it, is the fact that it doesn't have to fall in line with everything else. It's just a quick little story that had a good bit of heart. Again, these are characters that we've been following for multiple movies, let alone the big joint movies, you know, the Avengers and stuff like that. But it's very interesting. It's also interesting to see where they are in time, because Groot's definitely gotten much bigger and beefier. Oh, who's there with him? Nebula's there, like everybody's there. Rocket was there, but it was really more focused on actually Mantis and Drax and their journey, and then dealing with Quill and everybody else when they get back, and Kevin Bacon was awesome in this.
We're looking for the legendary Kevin Bacon.
We're looking for the legendary Kevin Bacon.
I just said that, Drax.
But your voice is small and mousy. I think maybe he didn't hear you. You're coming with us. That's a Christmas present.
I mean, I love Kevin Bacon anyway. Tremors. Top 10 movie of all time. Yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna have to be in there. But absolutely love Kevin Bacon, and his role in this one is he had to have loved it, because basically it's just come be you, but then make fun of yourself, and it just seemed like it really went well. And the music that was in this one, again, it's such a weird special where there's a lot of music. Like there's a song early on that's played, then there's another song kind of that they're playing at the end, and it just really works well together. Though the visuals are really awesome. Again, there's a lot of heart that's actually there in a brief little 50-something minute, special presentation, not movie I was going to say, but I really enjoyed it. And if anything else, this reaffirms a couple things. A, that James Gunn is really good at what he does. He's able to elicit a lot of good emotions, much like the previous movies that he'd done, Guardians and Guardians 2. But then also that my prediction for Guardians 3, that it's definitely going to be very emotional. There's probably going to be a lot of sad things that happen, but in a maybe good way. I don't know. We'll have to see. And I'm also way more excited again. I was already excited about him coming over to DC and taking over most of their stuff there, at least the creative control kind of stuff. But the dialogue, everything that goes with them, I mean, he wrote and directed this one, I believe, and it was just spot on. Again, Drax and Mantis are the main folks in this one, and their interactions are awesome, because Drax is Drax through and through, but this one you get a lot more exploration of Mantis, and she's still trying to be very nice and helpful, but Drax knows how to just push her buttons enough to where she snaps and yells at him pretty consistently. It's actually pretty hilarious. Their characters actually grew a lot in this one, so I appreciate that one, and it really got me amped up to go see Guardians 3 when that comes out next year. So I'm all about it. It might have to actually be something I keep around for Christmases. It's probably one of my more favorite Christmas things I've seen as of late. I got the old Christmas classics, but there's few things in there that kind of work their way in that I want to rewatch each year. I think Krampus is back in there. That's a relatively recent one, but other than that, can't think of too much, but this might work its way in. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. Did you guys enjoy this one as much as I did? I'm pretty excited for Guardians 3 now. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Go hit that subscribe button if you would. That'd be fantastic. And as always, you're awesome. Peace out.